Hello.
Nice to meet you, Carter. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I love your little like plushies in the background. So adorable.
Thank you. They keep going on a little bit further, but I couldn't get all of them in frame.
That's awesome. I used to have a collection and then I lost them because I was just constantly moving in college. And now I have none. So
Oh.
they're so adorable. It's so nice to see you today. We're both on Pacific Standard Time, so I know it's quite early, and I thank you so much for this interview. And my name is Rania Salvan, and I'm with Nocturnal. So I wanted to start off with some questions about your partnership with International Delight. And I wanted to know how that was going. It's Grinch themed Christmas and all the great things. So, what influenced you to want to go ahead and partner with them?
Yeah, well, obviously I definitely have like a big love for the Grinch and especially their new like coffee creamers. I mean, I've tried the peppermint mocha. It was
Mhm.
very good. I'm a very the mintiness was just, you know,
Yeah.
something that I like was a big fan of. And so, when they came to me about like this whole idea of having a interaction at a mall, which fun fact about malls, there's actually like most Americans would say that the malls are the grinchiest place that you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so,
Yep.
I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty true. And so we're doing this whole thing at a mall where we can have, the Grinch and free coffees,
Mhm.
and I get to be there and help kind of spread the joy.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah. And so peppermint's your favorite?
oh yeah, for sure. There's that one. I also really like the sugar cookie.
And so I realized you're from the South, right? You're from Georgia.
I am.
I'm from Florida.
Oh,
So
okay.
neighbors almost. How do you miss it? Because you're over on the West Coast now.
Yeah,
So yeah, do you miss home?
I definitely do. Over there, I definitely had a different environment. I lived more in like the less populated area,
Yeah.
like outside of Atlanta, whereas here I'm in like the heart of LA,
Oh yeah.
and it's constantly just, busy, which is great, but there's no crickets at night. I'll say that.
Yeah. So like extreme like culture change and shift for you. Or is it like a complete shock at first? Or are you able to just easily assimilate and just be fine?
I've managed to keep like some close friends in my life throughout the whole change. So it was never too jarring. And I always had people that I could like rely on to hang out with and make sure I wasn't like too lonely. So I think that helped.
That's good. So, I mean, the holidays are coming up. Are you going to be going back to Georgia? Are you going to be spending your time on the West Coast? What's your plans for the holidays?
Yeah, so I'm actually going back to Georgia,
Wow.
and I always love to spend holidays with my family because it's just like I grew up doing it. I don't really want to stop doing it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And um yeah, we always have like these Christmas rituals. We actually watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas, like the night on Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
which was like our favorite ritual growing up because it was, my favorite character. And then the morning of, we like take turns going around the Christmas tree, just like giving out gifts. And one person likes to, take the role of being like the gift giver. And
Oh,
it's
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so we let one person do that, and it's just fun. Then we eat
Oh,
and
what kind of food? Some good food.
oh yeah, it's like Thanksgiving food, just like
Yeah.
remade.
I believe in that hardcore. Like, I know some people who will just, they'll go a little light for Christmas or the holidays, but my family, they go all out like they do for Thanksgiving, and it's just a full platter of food.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
when it comes to the holidays too, are there any traditions that y'all do as a family that you essentially want to carry on with friends or with your own future family if you have one?
Yeah, for sure. This year we started a new tradition of getting a real tree from a Christmas tree farm, and we had to go and cut it down.
Oh,
And that was probably just one of this more it was a new experience for me personally because we've always just had like take it out of the box and put it up, not going to a farm with a saw and then cutting down like a real tree. I felt very grinchy, but um It
It's
was,
Grinch themed Christmas for real.
yeah, no. And then I put it on the back, actually, just like in the cartoon.
Yeah.
And I was just hauling it across the farm. It was, it was
How
so,
big the tree? Like how tall was it?
it was only 8 feet,
Wow, that's still, that's
still
not,
big.
yeah.
But there were some like 25-foot trees there. And we were just like looking at that and wondering who can even carry it. Like that's,
Exactly. That
you
requires
know,
people and probably a beast, a dog. I don't know. That's so cool though. I've contemplated trying to get a real tree and then I don't know. I have this fear that it'll just like start dying before Christmas, and that's just the fear that I have is like I don't want it to die before Christmas.
yeah,
Make sure I'm taking care of the tree. But that's cool that you went ahead and did that. That's awesome. And when it comes to your future projects, how's that going for you? Like I know you're coming out with your podcast, and what's that like for you?
it's really exciting because you can't predict the future, obviously,
Yeah.
but you can always imagine, everything working out and kind of like being able to share all of this stuff that you've worked so hard on with everybody
Hmm.
that like, wants to see more of you. And so I'm very excited for when I actually come out with it that I can then be like, I do have a podcast instead of just being like, I might be making a podcast because that so far is all I've really given to like
Hmm.
people because I've wanted to make it something because, once it's out, I can promote it and really,
Yeah.
share that with them. But I think it's gonna turn out really well. I mean, I've already seen like the first couple episodes, and so far it's been very like I like the storytelling aspect. It's like it kind of flows, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine like I don't even know, like a Dr. Seuss novel. It's just like
Oh, that's fun. Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. Because so I'm very weary about podcasts, and so far as like I'm a very visual person. And if it's audio storytelling, I need it to be like super engaging or have like multi-sensory aspects to it. So there's like sound accompanying the interview or anything like that. So when you talk about the storytelling part, it's nice to hear that it's almost like Dr. Seuss in a way. That's fun. And when it came to creating the couple episodes that you just mentioned, were there any guest appearances or things like that?
yeah, so I do have a couple guest appearances in the first 6 episodes
Hmm.
with my roommate Maddie,
Yeah,
and I'm also gonna have a couple other people in our immediate friend group, but um and my sister actually.
nice.
But yeah, that were the only real big guests that we brought on for those episodes.
Cool. And what kind of subjects do you guys talk about if you're allowed to talk about them right now?
Every episode is different. I think I like to kind of switch it up, so it's never like too similar,
Mhm.
but it can be anything from, relationship advice to how I became friends with a certain person
Yeah,
and, kind of just like a good mix of all the funness that goes on in my life.
that's so cool. Speaking of relationship advice, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh my God.
Yes. So when it comes to it's cuffing season. I don't even know if they use that term anymore, to be honest. I said it to my son like a couple days ago, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." But it's that time of year where people want to be together, and being single or being alone isn't the best. But I feel like sometimes being single or being alone gets such a bad rep. So, how do you cope with being single or alone during the holidays and just really make it the best that you can? I
Yeah.
remember it was like Valentine's Day. I wouldn't probably have somebody, and I would quite literally make it single awareness day. I would take myself out. I would give myself a bubble bath, all the great things. So, what
Yeah.
would you suggest?
Well, I have, pretty much spent every holiday by myself, and
Mm,
I don't mind it personally. I think if you can have like love for the world, you don't need somebody else there next to you to be able to share that.
right.
And I feel like it's such a stereotype to kind of just like, oh, you're single for the holidays. You're gonna be like this Grinchy personality and just like walk around and kind of just be like, down in the slumps. But I'm a big fan of friendships. I like being able to like, give back to my friends and just like let them know how much they mean to me. And that
Mhm.
also goes for my family. So most Christmases, I end up just like surrounding myself with friends and family. And that's really all I need. I mean, I've been, well beyond satisfied with that for every year, and it's great.
That's awesome. One last question, and it is Grinch related. What is your favorite scene from the movie?
Oh my gosh. Well, my favorite one is the one that like makes absolutely no sense in the real world, which is
Mhm.
why I like it so much. And it's when he's able to go down every house and every home
Yeah,
of Whoville and just literally take everything without waking anybody up,
I know, right?
without any. I think he actually took the animals. I'm not sure. I don't
I
know that
think,
key detail.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did though. And then it's just he does all of that right after Santa comes and then is able to have Max haul him all the way up to Mount Crumpet. It makes no sense with gravity and like logistics. And that's why I like it so much because things that don't actually make sense are probably the best for like the imagination aspects. And it was just growing up, I remember as a kid, that was like my favorite part because it was just so cool
Yeah.
to think of being, done in the real life.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is so nice talking to you. And I wish we had more time, but I'm going to be keeping up with your stuff, your podcast. I'm going to keep watching your videos. You are one funny person. I really wish you like immense, success and luck in your future.
Wow, thank you. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Carter. You have a good one, okay?